Listening to A Walk with Jesus here on Joy 99.7. In case you just tuned in, we're back on track from where we began last week, talking about nuggets for stable marriages. So call your spouse and your would-be spouse and sit down to them. If they're not with you, wherever they are across the nations of the world, they can tune in. They can get it on Facebook Live, or they can connect whichever way to be on Joy FM, Joy 99.7, your channel for true divine inspiration and tremendous blessing. And tonight, continuation of nuggets for a stable marriage. My guest in studio, the very able Reverend Oscar Siripi, on the matter of marriage counseling. He's a pastor, powerful minister of the gospel, and he's deep when it comes to counseling for marriage. My name is Pastor Ransford Abosei. I welcome you to A Walk with Jesus tonight with an able producer, right, standing by. Okay, Royalty's mom, doing an excellent job. Also, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here tonight.
We thank God for
we thank God. Last week was explosive.
Yeah.
We're grateful to God for the wisdom and the depth of revelation meant to help God's people today. So tonight, we're just going to continue. Before we delve into today's nuggets, kindly bring us up to speed on some 3 points that we talked about last week: the emotional attachments, the mindset, the appreciation, and the apology, which seems to be like a major bane when married people come into question.
So thank you and good evening to our listeners. As you said, we started with nuggets for stable marriage, and we spoke about emotional attachment.
Okay.
And so there are people who are married and they still have emotional attachment to their ex.
Okay.
And that can create a lot of problems. Now, if you want your marriage to be stable, and I said you cannot have a perfect marriage.
Okay.
There's nothing like a perfect marriage. So those who are not married yet and they are assuming that when I'm married everything will be perfect, you will not have it.
Okay.
What you can have is a stable marriage. Now, once you have a stable marriage, then there's a stable family.
Okay.
Then you have a stable society, because all of us are coming from marriages.
True.
Then the nation benefits, because at the end of the day, the people who are in position of authority are all coming from homes. So once the child is trained up well and they assume the position of authority, then it becomes easier.
That's right.
So that when this road is 1 kilometer, the money that is allocated for it, they're able to use the money for that. Okay. Because they have values in life. They also spoke about a mindset. You see, the problem people have is that before they even enter into the marriage, their mindset about marriage is poor. So it's like, oh, for us, this family, we don't respect women. That mindset. Or back right there. So once you go into that marriage with that mindset, it becomes a problem. Now there are people who enter into marriage and they are like, okay, when this thing works, I'll stay.
Okay.
If we have problems, I'll leave. But you see, in marriage, because you're not living with a perfect human being, you are going to have challenges.
Okay.
Now, if your mindset is that once those things come up, you will leave. You will leave.
Okay.
Because you are not prepared to stay.
You have a backup plan.
Yes,
kind of.
you are not ready to work at the marriage. And once your mindset is poor, it becomes a problem.
Okay.
And we ended with showing appreciation and learning how to say, I'm sorry. Apology.
Okay.
And like you said, a lot of people find it very difficult to do that. Why? I don't know.
Maybe we need to find out from somebody who has that difficulty.
Some of them, the reason being that the way they were brought up, they were not taught to say that. You see, it's like when I say I'm sorry to my wife, then I'm weak. You see?
Really?
But saying sorry doesn't make you a weak person. Rather, it makes you a stronger person.
Okay.
So we ended on that. When your husband is paying school fees, he comes from work and he's bought you yogurt. Don't say that other people are buying their wives pizza and you are bringing yogurt. Okay. Appreciate what the man is doing. All the effort that your wife is putting in. Appreciate it. And sometimes you need to see the person there and say, look, honey, I see all that you are doing for us. God bless you for what you are doing for this family. Or the sacrifices that you are making. Okay. Your husband is praying for you, is interceding. Maybe you're a minister of the gospel. your wife is praying for you, she's fasting and praying for you, the ministry is growing. Sit there and say, look, I appreciate all that you are doing for us. I thank God for your life, and I appreciate God for being part of my life. If you're able to do that, then we'll make progress.
Okay.
So that's where we ended.
Yes.
And today we want to continue from that point.
From that point. So what nuggets are we talking about tonight?
Today we are looking at association.
Okay. Association.
You see, the Bible says in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter number 15 verse 33, the bad company corrupts good character. Bad company. In this life, the people you associate with will determine how far you go.
Okay.
So, Lot was with Abraham. And because of Abraham, he was being blessed. You see, the Bible said that at one point that they had so much and they couldn't live together. Then Abraham said that if you go left, I'll go right. If you go right, I'll go left, because their herdsmen were fighting. If I were Saul or Lot, I would have told my uncle that I want to stay with you. Because he was enjoying the blessings of God upon Abraham's life. And that good association that he had was making him prosperous. Then when he separated from Abraham, he went to Sodom and Gomorrah. A bad association. By the time he was leaving, all the things that he had acquired, he lost everything. Even but for Abraham, he would have lost his life. So you see, when you are married and you want to maintain or keep the sanctity of the marriage, and you want to have a stable marriage, be very careful about the people you associate with. Be extremely careful. Because you see, sometimes you have good character. You want to keep your marriage. You are doing well. One bad association can corrupt your thinking. It's like you are always with your wife. You're always talking about your husband. You are not the only person who's married. We are also married. The way you are treating your husband. You see, when you don't check those things, and people begin to feed you, your association begin to feed you with bad information and wrong information, it can become a problem. So people go to the saloon, people are in their offices, and they are like, the way your husband is treating you, I'll not take it. The way your wife is treating you, me, I won't take it.
Okay.
But you have to understand that you are not married to your husband.
Indeed.
They are not married to your wife. So the moment you realize that the pieces of advice they are giving you, it's not helping you to keep your marriage. Break off. I always tell people, look, when it comes to the issue of destiny, you don't joke around with it.
At all.
You don't tolerate certain, excuse my language, nonsense when it comes to destiny. So if you are married, and by the grace of God, you are doing well in marriage, be very careful about the people you associate with. A lot of people are having problems now because of the association they are keeping. So, in the name of, we are going to watch Champions League. So they go with you. You are married, right? Because every time when you close, you are going home. And they are like, Jack, when you close, you want to go home. Let's go and sit somewhere and watch football. Okay. Sometimes when they are coming, they come with their concubines. They are married, all right. But they come with their concubines.
Sidekicks.
Then you sit there and you watch all those things. Gradually, if you don't come to your senses and know that you are married, by the time you realize they've introduced you to something, and then all the effort you are putting in your marriage that is keeping the marriage, you lose it. So be very careful about the people you associate with as a married person, because there are very good people out there. Look for people whose homes are working. Look for those people whose homes are working, who are having stable marriages. So that if you are having challenge, go to them for pieces of advice. Let's be very careful about the people we associate with when we are married. And stop discussing the things your husband is buying for you with them. Because some of them, look, they will tell you, even my husband bought this one for me. My wife did this. And sometimes they are lying. Some of them, sometimes they are envious of your marriage. And you must be able to read through the line and know that these things that these people are telling me is not right. So be very careful about the people you associate with when you are married. Because the Bible says that bad company can corrupt good character. And there are people who have lost their marriages, they've lost their families because they depended on what other people were telling them. Oh, I saw your husband here. You see, your husband is with this lady, and the way they are close. If you don't take time, be very careful. This house girl in this house, the way you see, when you begin to listen to those things too much, it becomes a problem. Look for people who have stable homes and associate with them.
Okay.
Other than that, by the time you realize you've lost that marriage, that home that was very peaceful, and at the end of the day, it becomes a problem. So be very careful about your association, because in this life, how far you go, how well you do, depends on the people you associate with.
I will put it in this way: who surrounds you determines what you surrender to.
Fantastic. Association is key in life. Very important. So be very careful. Be very careful. Other than that, if you listen too much to what they are telling you, and your husband is like this, and your wife is like that, and me, I can't take this from your husband, the way this lady is talking to you, this, when you begin to listen to those things too much, it can become a problem. Be very careful as a married person and someone who wants to marry about the people you associate with, because in this life, how well you do depends on the people you associate with.
Okay.
Now the other one, the other nugget is transparency.
Okay.
A lot of people are married, but they are not transparent. They are not transparent.
Is a dangerous thing.
Yes, they are not transparent. So the person gets a phone call, and they are hiding from their wives and their husbands
to answer the call.
Yes. So the people are moving to the washroom and coming out. You don't know what they are talking about.
What now is no more phone calls, there's text messages, WhatsApp messages, whatever.
Be transparent. If you are at Agbublushi, let your wife know I'm at Agbublushi. Let your husband know about it.
Okay.
Because you are living in a dispensation which is very perverse. What people have not even seen, they will swear that they saw it. They will swear. So be very careful, be transparent. You see, once you are transparent, even if people begin to gossip about their marriage, that marriage will continue to progress. Because you are transparent.
Okay.
I'm going for a trek in Kumasi. Be in Kumasi and don't be in Takrady. The moment you are not in Kumasi and somebody sees you in Takrady and tells your husband about it or your wife about it, it becomes a problem.
Okay.
But if you are transparent and says, look, I'm going to Kumasi, maybe after 2 days, I'll be moving towards Takrady.
Okay.
So that if somebody sees you in Takrady and says that, oh, I saw your husband, your wife in Takrady, you're already aware that my husband told me that from Kumasi, he'll be moving towards Takrady. Okay. Be transparent.
Okay.
Because if you don't do that, and somebody goes to gossip to your husband and your wife about something you are doing, and they are not aware, it becomes a problem.
Okay.
They begin to become suspicious, and that can lead to mistrust.
Okay.
So be transparent.
Well, transparency builds trust in the marriage.
We'll come to that.
Okay.
It builds trust in the marriage because you're transparent. If your phone is here and you're transparent, sometimes when you even get a call, you see that your husband, your wife will call you. You have a call. Should I take it or I should bring the phone to you? Because you're transparent. You're not hiding anything. But when you begin to hide, you see, and they see certain messages, and you're not able to explain, it becomes a problem. Be transparent in the marriage. So that at the end of the day, people want to take advantage about the marriage and gossip about your marriage. They will not have that opportunity.
Okay.
Because I'm telling you that, my brother, there are people who see other people's marriages and they're envious. Theirs is not working. And they want everybody to be like them. Get this point very clearly. There are people who are doing those things not because they have your interest at heart. It's because they are envious of your home, and they see the stability in your home, and they see the joy that is coming from your children, and the peace. They are envious of it, so they begin to gossip. So if you are not transparent and you are hiding things from your husband, you're hiding things from your wife, they can take advantage of that and betray you.
Okay.
Be transparent. One time I went to the stadium. You see, I use football to relax.
Good for you.
Yes, yes.
Most men do. Though.
Today I even watched Arsenal versus Everton. Okay. We won 2-0.
Okay.
Now, I went to the stadium.
Okay.
And there was a guy by me. He had a call. So he said, I'm at the stadium. And I don't know what the other person told him.
Okay.
And he said, now, Dede Bebre stadium on Tiana. With all the noise around the stadium, can't you hear that I'm at the stadium? And I realized that there was a problem.
Okay.
Because if the person at the other end believed him that he was at the stadium, there was no complaint.
There was no complaint. Yeah.
So he was telling the person, but with all the noise around the stadium, don't you believe them at the stadium? Then I realized that there was a problem with transparency. So if you are going to Takrady, if you are going to Agbogboshi, wherever you are going, and then maybe you have to divert your focus to another place, let your husband, your wife know that from here I am going to another direction. All the people you are dealing with in your office, be transparent about it. So that when you receive a call at 1 a.m., your wife knows that because my husband is a pastor, he's a counselor, and that's why somebody is calling him at 1 a.m. But if you're not transparent and your wife is suspicious of you, and you are receiving calls even as a minister of the gospel or a counselor at 1 a.m., it becomes a problem. Be transparent. All these things, we are hiding phones and we are putting passwords and all the things we are doing because people are not transparent. But if I'm doing business with a lady and I'm transparent about it, and my husband knows about it, my wife knows about it, if they see any text message on my phone or WhatsApp and says that, oh, I'm meeting, let's meet at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Your wife knows that my husband has business dealing with that lady.
Okay.
And they are doing business together. If the lady wants to meet my husband at 10 a.m., I'm at peace.
Okay.
But when you're not transparent, you don't even know the people you are dealing with. They don't know where you go. It becomes a problem. And I'm saying that this our generation is a perverse one. There are people who are envious of people's marriages. And sometimes because this is not working, they want you to be like them. And they will do everything under the sun to break the marriage. Be transparent. Okay. Once you are transparent, whatever they see, it will not work.
Okay, so for somebody who probably may have been hiding in the shadows for quite a bit now because his activities are nefarious, or if you will, detrimental to the marriage. Now they've seen that. I mean, like the scenario you just narrated at the stadium. Because he's had something to hide in the past, he's broken trust in the marriage.
Yes.
Now he's listening to you. He says, "What can I do? How can I restore the trust?" By, if you will, becoming more transparent when I have all the skeletons in the cupboard and what have you.
So this is what you do.
Okay.
Now going forward, you want to be transparent. You want to restore trust. Because you see, trust is the bedrock of every relationship. Once trust is broken, there's no relationship. Even ordinary one, not a covenant one like marriage.
Okay.
Once trust is broken, it becomes a problem. How do you restore it? Be transparent. This time, if you say, I'm going to spin test, your wife knows that you are spin test. Your husband knows you are spin test. All the people that you used to deal with or you are dealing with, let your husband or your wife know about it.
Including the sidekick?
No. So then, because of that, you have to let go that in code nonsense.
Okay.
You have to let go.
Okay.
Because those are the things that create suspicion. Because if you have the sidekick, you will not speak the truth. You will not. You see, those things make us lie. Oh, well, I don't have anything to do with that lady. I don't have anything to do with that guy. But you know. So you have to stop lying and let go. Let go and let God. Let go and keep your marriage, because you are looking for a stable marriage. And if you want a stable marriage, you cannot be having those distractions.
Okay.
So you are transparent that this lady is my business partner. I'm at Agbogboshi. Then you begin to build trust. The person knows you are here, that from here I'll be going to the other place. Now when you close at work, you try to come home early.
Okay.
You won't go and sit somewhere and be chatting. You come home early. These are the things you do, and you begin to restore the trust.
The trust.
Once your spouse knows that this person is now on track, then the trust is coming back. And once it comes back, then that's it.
What happens to those? I mean, solid point though. But what happens to those who probably they say that, okay, I've made a mistake in the past. Trust was broken. Now I'm trying to regain trust. So I've broken off all the external distractions, relationship, kick out the side chick and everything. But my wife still doesn't believe me, or my partner still doesn't believe that I'm trying to come clean now.
Be honest about it.
Okay.
So you keep on doing what you are doing.
Okay.
Just keep on doing what you are doing, and let God be the judge.
Okay.
You see, because trust is already broken, do your part. Don't try to impress your wife or your husband. Do your part. Be transparent. Move away from those things. Come home early if you have to, because these days people have to be at work sometime late. So if you have to come home early, you come. Do whatever you must do, and leave the rest to God. With time, you will realize that yes, this person has changed.
Has actually changed.
But if you are saying that, okay, I'm doing everything possible for you to know that I've changed, you are not accepting it, then I'm going back. It becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Stay on course.
Well,
be consistent.
Some can actually say, well, I've done everything to make her believe that. So right now, she suspects me anyway. Let me just carry on.
But know
it.
that you did something in the past.
Okay.
And that's why trust is broken. So be patient.
Okay.
Have patience and then focus. Once you have patience and you are focused and you are consistent and you know what you are doing,
okay,
leave the rest to God. Bible says that let God be true and all men liars.
Well, some people actually use that quotation to say, well, so as a man you must lie.
It cannot be so.
Okay, so people, we have 34 minutes after 8. You're listening to A Walk with Jesus. We're discussing nuggets for stable marriages. For those of you getting married or you're already married but you're having challenges with trust, today we've talked about association and then transparency. And I believe that you've heard a earful of some wisdom that can help you really make the marriage home work. You can join the conversation via WhatsApp 0244-340-437. Again, WhatsApp 0244-340-437. And then also you can join us on Facebook. That is Facebook/JoyTime. You have a question, you have a comment, whatever you've heard. Maybe there's something bothering your mind. You're struggling with some issues in your marriage. You have a thorny issue or tricky situation in your marriage that you want to resolve. You can ask any question that you have. You want to put it forward so that you can get some help or some counsel today. Please send it across. Very shortly, we'll be opening the phone lines so that you can join us in the conversation. I have a few before we go to the third nugget for tonight. I have a few comments on WhatsApp. Let's just read them and then we can carry on. Okay. One says, "Hi, Pastor Ransford. My heart got broken this weekend. I feel terrible. I have been in several failed relationships. These guys just lose interest and the next thing they do another relationship. I'm so sad." And that's from Akos in Adenta. Okay, so she's dealing with a situation of failed relationships.
So this is what happens.
Okay.
She must look at the way she has positioned herself. If she's sometimes in relationship, the way you position yourself makes the men take you for granted.
You take advantage of it.
So she has to be very careful. And when she comes out of a failed one, she should come down and go through a process of healing.
Okay.
Sometimes we don't do that.
Okay.
Once we lose this relation, we want to jump to another one. So she should calm down.
Okay.
Look at herself and the way she has positioned her life. Once she's able to correct those things, she should go through a process of healing. Okay. Then once she's healed, she knows the man, the type of person she wants to go out with. Okay. Because sometimes when they go out, 2 months they are having sex.
Yeah.
You see, and you are positioning yourself in a certain way. You are cooking, you are washing, you are doing all those things. And the guy uses you and is like, "Charlie, let's move on." So be very careful. The way you position yourself in courtship is very important.
Okay. All right. So one said, "Good evening, Pastor Him. Today in church. I was saying something your guest is saying. We really have to be very careful about people we call our friends. It's not helping us in so many ways. I thank God for hearing the same thing my pastor was talking about this evening. May God help us." Okay. God bless you. for sharing that. But for you hearing it the same thing twice within a day shows you that Spirit of God is one, and therefore you can take a cue from that. Kofi from Audome Estate says, great discussion today. I'm listening with my wife and we want to find out something. If you trust each other not to cheat on each other, is it possible to doubt each other in different areas like finances, etc.? Or once there's trust, it covers all aspects of the relationship? Interesting question.
In transparency, you must also be financially transparent.
Transparency means transparent
everywhere.
All
areas.
all boards, yeah.
So financially, you must be transparent.
Okay. All right. So, Kofi, here you go. For you and your wife, if you're transparent, it goes all across. You can't be transparent sexually or in immoral relationship.
And then financially
you're
peak.
Yeah, you put 20 in the front pocket and 200 in the back pocket. Lord help you. Okay. One divine from Asim Fosu says, I broke in my trust in my relationship. Please, how can I restore it? Okay. I think I asked his question for you. So you heard the comments of Reverend Oscar. Okay. One says inside Kumasi. Okay. It says, do not rush into marriage. Patience is the best key in marriage. So Thomas inside Kumasi. Okay. Thank you, so Thomas. For your comment. Okay, I think that we can travel on really quickly. You can keep your texts and your questions or your comments coming on WhatsApp 0244340437. Again, WhatsApp 0244340437. Facebook is Facebook/Joytime. You have any questions, any comments, any contributions you want to share? We're discussing nugget for stable marriages for those who are married already, and then those who are yet to be married and you're planning, maybe you're dating or courting, what have you. Okay, so third nugget for tonight.
The third one for tonight.
Yeah,
forgiveness. That's a big one.
Heavy. Is heavy.
If you want to have a stable marriage and you're not married, you must learn how to forgive. Because in marriage, your spouse is going to say some things, they will hurt you. But you must learn how to forgive. It's like when you want to go to SHS and you write BCE, the core 4 subjects, math, English, science, and social studies, you must get it right.
Okay.
If you want to have a stable marriage, forgiveness is very important. You must also learn to forgive yourself. Because there are people who have gone through some things in the past and they are holding on to those things. The more you do that, the more you deprive your spouse of some happiness in the marriage. Because he was not the cause of that. So you must learn to forgive yourself whatever you went through in the past. Maybe someone hurt you, a lady hurt you. All women are not the same. All men are not the same. The one that took you through that hurt or pain is not the person you're married to.
But they have likabilities. they have almost similar character.
But they are not the same. So if Kwame hurt you in the past, right? Okay. You cannot visit the pain on Kwiku. And you can only do that when you forgive yourself and know that the person I'm dealing with now in the marriage is different from the person who hurt me. Okay. So you must learn to forgive yourself of the things you have been through in the past. Okay. There are people, because of the things that happened between their father and their mother, they went through pain. Okay. Their education was affected. They were deprived of some things when they were growing up. And they carry those wounds. If you don't let go, and you know that the way your parents, their marriage went, is not the same way yours will go, it can affect your marriage. Okay. So you must forgive yourself of the pains you went through in the past. And so that you have emotional strength, emotional stability, to be in your marriage. Other than that, if you don't forgive yourself of the pain of the past, it can affect your marriage. And as I said, you must also learn to forgive your husband. Sometimes they will do something. Sometimes your husband will say something. Sometimes somebody said, it's because of marriage, that's why you are talking to me like that. So you must learn to forgive. Okay. If you don't forgive, it will lead to resentment. Okay. And then bitterness. And once you become bitter, Even sexually, you cannot give your best. In sex,
you begin to disconnect sexually as a couple.
Because you are not able to give your best. You are bitter. So it's like, okay, I'm lying and do it and go.
So, yes,
because you're not happy.
Okay.
So if there are issues you must talk about, sit down with your spouse and talk about it.
Okay.
You see, this issue of, for me, I don't want to talk about, if I say something, you get angry. Sit down and talk about, discuss it.
Okay.
Other than that, it will lead to resentment, and then you become bitter. And once you become bitter, you are not able to give up your best in that marriage. And once that happens, that's the end of that marriage. So in marriage, I tell people, if you want to marry and you don't know how to forgive, wait, go and learn how to forgive.
Okay.
Then you can marry, because your husband will hurt you, your wife will say some things. Sometimes the comments they will pass, but you have to learn to let go.
But you may forgive. It happens once or twice, but if it becomes consistent, maybe not just words, but maybe sometimes even physical abuse. What if, for instance, your spouse, the husband, may be physically abusing you, and then he comes back and say, "I'm sorry." You're supposed to forgive him.
If your husband abuses you physically, report him to the police.
Okay.
But it's physical
abuse.
Yes.
Yeah. So what about verbal abuse? Because sometimes that can cut even deeper than any punch or
the
slap.
fact that somebody is forgiving you doesn't mean you should take advantage of that.
Yeah. But that seems to be the situation.
Yes, so that's why you have to let the person understand.
Okay.
That these things you are doing, you are hurting me. So I forgive you, all right? Okay. But you must also be very careful about the way you are talking to me and the way you are treating me. Because if you continue to do those things, it will get to a point that they will come back.
Okay.
So, yes, learn to forgive. But the other person must also understand that you are dealing with a human being who has feelings.
Okay.
And because of that, I must be very careful. Okay. And that's why you need to point it out to the person.
Okay.
That these things you are doing, you are hurting me. Yes, I have forgiven you, but going forward, be very careful.
Okay. So you forgive, but you also serve a warning.
Yes, you must let the person understand. Okay. That the fact I'm forgiving you doesn't mean that you should continue. And that's why you need to be discussing, talking about issues.
Okay.
So that at the end of the day, you don't become bitter, and that can affect
It's good that you mentioned this point about discussing some of these issues that comes out. I mean, like being able to manage conflict, resolving it by discussion and stuff. What if your spouse does not want to discuss issues in order to be able to resolve
Bring in another person. Bring in the third person.
And they don't want to listen.
Do that.
We have situations like
that. There
are
people that they will not listen to you, but they will listen to other people.
Okay.
Yes. So try. Bring in other people. So that I can talk to the person. So that at the end of the day, when there's a problem with the marriage, they know where it's coming from.
Okay. Okay.
Another person will know where it is coming from. So bring in another person. Bring in counselors.
Like a counselor.
So that they can sit the person down and talk to the person. But we also be very careful
who you bring in.
It's very important.
Okay. All right. Well, it says, praise God for Joy FM. I cohabited for so many years. I met your resource person for counsel. He used it against me. Really? He used it against me. Please pray for me, for God to vindicate me and also to get a job. God bless you. And that's from Margaret. Not the resource person, but the one who I lived with used my meeting with your resource person against me. Interesting. So I believe this lady met you. I think the one she cohabited with for many years used it against her one way or another. I don't quite get it.
That's not me.
Okay. Okay.
That's why if you watch me when I'm even doing a program.
No, she's saying that when she met you, the person she cohabited with used it against her, not you.
For seeing me?
I don't know. Okay, Margaret, maybe you need to come back again with your comment so we can get clarity on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. This one is a long thesis. Sorry, I don't think we can read it. You probably meant it for some other platform. All right. One more, and then very soon we'll open the phone lines. Jane says, please, my guy and I have been dating for nearly 3 years now. He wants my parents to get to know him so he can come and visit when he wants to. But the problem is, the problem I have is that I have a very strict and difficult father, and my fear is that my dad may frustrate him and he might get fed up and go. Please, what do I do, and what's the right way in handling this situation?
So she's been with the guy for 3 years.
3 years is ridiculous.
And the parents don't know about it. Is that what she's saying?
Yeah.
So where is this relationship leading to?
Yeah.
That's the question you have to ask.
Yeah.
Where is it leading to? So by all means, you have to bring the guy to your parents.
Yeah.
By all means.
Yeah.
Other than that, there will not be any marriage.
Because 3 years is quite too long.
So where are you meeting? What are you doing? What are you talking about? What do you discuss? Ooh. Where is this relationship leading to? Are you just having fun?
Okay.
Let him come home.
Bring him home, lady. Okay. Kobe in Tema says, Pastor, I've never cheated on my wife, but she's always suspicious. She's always jealous about any lady I become free with. What should I do? Kobe, okay. Ref.
So he should be very careful and watch the distance he's keeping with those ladies.
Okay.
Because sometimes that's where the problem is.
Okay.
And sometimes too, the things they did before they got married,
okay,
has become a problem. You see, the foundation is faulty.
Yeah.
So now the wife has a certain perception about him.
Okay.
And knows that this guy, if I give him the chance, he can't misbehave.
He would,
and that's why she's behaving like that.
He would disgrace himself. Okay, you can join us on the phone lines. Number to call 0302-216541. Again, 0302-216541. If you're calling from outside Ghana, add the international code +233, and you can join the conversation right here on A Walk with Jesus. You're on Joy 99.7, your channel for true divine inspiration and blessing. We're talking nuggets for stable marriages. Okay, let me go to a few comments. Why it says, why is it that some men, when they have cheated on their wife, they don't know how to say sorry? Okay,
and that is why the marriage is the way it is. That's what we are talking about.
Okay,
that's why we are discussing this.
So maybe sweetness, you need to ask your husband, why can't you just say sorry?
Yes, we must.
Okay, we have somebody on the phone line. Hello.
Hi, Pastor. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
I really appreciate the contributions you're making. Very informative.
We thank God.
I don't know if what I'm going to ask is part of the discussion, but I'm having this nagging questions every now and then. I have a partner, and currently, actually, I'm out of work. But he's working in a very good organization.
Okay.
The thing is that my partner is putting up with me.
Okay. He lives with you.
Yes.
Okay, like your home. That's where you are living together.
Exactly.
And if you say your partner, are you married partners or just living together?
He actually has a problem with where he was living.
Okay.
So he decided to come and put up with me for a while.
Okay.
The problem is that he just doesn't even want to contribute to utilities or anything. I still have to struggle to pay the utility bills and everything.
Okay.
And I keep asking myself if this is, he doesn't want to contribute to anything really. Well, unless I have to talk about it several times before, maybe once a while, he gives you something very minimal. He's earning a very good salary.
Okay.
So he should go and look for a place to rent.
Yeah.
If it's anywhere, why is he living with you?
With another person, yeah. Taking advantage of you.
I'm saying that, yes, why is he living with you if he's earning good money?
Yeah, because he has a problem with his house currently. So he's just putting up with me temporarily.
But you are saying that he earns good money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you should go and look for a place for the meantime and rent. That will resolve the issue. So that he's staying somewhere that he can take care of his bills.
Yes, but my question is, even if he goes to live somewhere, I'm currently out of job. He's been with me for some months now, getting to 1 year now, right?
Okay.
If this person is if I'm still in this relationship and he doesn't even want to support me, I'm just asking myself, is this a good relationship? I don't know.
Well, I think that you should be talking to him. You should be having that conversation with him. In the first place, what kind of relationship are you in? You have a place to live. He lost his place for whatever reason.
And he's earning good money.
And he's earning good money. And you're living together. You must have come to some agreement or some discussion to live together. You understand? If it is a relationship which is meant to be eventually formed into a marriage, you need to know where you're going with that. And therefore, the kind of contribution that you expect one from each other. Okay, but if you have not done those discussions,
it becomes a problem.
Exactly, and asking us might be difficult. So you need to sit him down and have the discussion. The questions you're asking us now, you ask him. Listen, where are we going with this?
And also for me, once the guy is earning good money, he should first of all look for a place to rent.
Well,
for the meantime,
good for him.
But once he does that, then we are looking at the way forward for the relationship.
Okay, yes. Once he moves out, then they'll look at whether you're going to get married or not. Okay, we have Oti Boati in Tema. Hello, Oti.
Hello, Pastor. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to the four from the pastor. Fourth and that was sustain the marriage.
Fourth.
Forgiveness.
Okay.
But I need another three one I can add.
Okay. Well, basically today we have talked about three: association, transparency, and forgiveness.
Okay.
We'll continue next week, so just keep your dials locked on Joy, okay? God bless you. Let's talk to Amma in Tema. Hello, Amma. How are you?
I'm fine, Pastor.
Okay. Thank you for joining us on a Walk with Jesus tonight.
Right. Thank you. Your program is very, very educative.
We thank the Lord.
Yeah. May I find out if you have a partner, you are transparent, but he seems not to be transparent in anything. And when you try to stick with him, it's like it's my choice. How do you go about that?
Okay. Rev.
So that's what I was saying with that. Bring in a counselor, someone that can speak to him. And sometimes you have to know, you want to understand why he's behaving that way. You see, there are people, as I said, trusted people in the past, and they had issues.
Okay.
So they are married now, or they're into another relationship, and they want to bring the pain of the past into that relationship.
Into the present.
So if you sit down with a counselor, you can investigate as to why that person is behaving that way, and based on that, then you can give solution.
You can give solution. Okay. Robert in Brunga. Hello, Robert. Hello, Robert.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Okay. Let's hear you, sir.
I joined the conversation when you were on the topic of forgiveness.
Okay.
I want to ask, in a marriage relationship, is it okay that the couple, that's to say me, the man, and then my wife, the woman, have a limit to forgiveness? That is, making it clearer is just like having a particular threshold that if my wife should go across it, I can forgive. Having a particular threshold that if I go beyond it, my wife can forgive.
Forgiveness is forgiveness.
Yeah.
See, forgiveness is forgiveness.
I am this kind. I think I had this conversation with my wife.
Okay.
We are 4 years into our marriage and we are still living honeymoon.
Okay.
And I am married to one of a virtuous woman on it. That I'm keeping I am doing all I can with the help of God to be the best of myself for him, for her.
Okay.
As I see in her. But there is this that I know. I can never put up with a woman who will see a man behind me.
Ooh.
That is a threshold that I can't.
Okay.
And this have been discussed and settled. Am I wrong in this way?
Well, okay. So
are you suspecting that she's going to do something wrong?
No.
Fantastic. So you see, there are things that you don't even bring up when you consider the person involved, and see that, like he was saying, you are dealing with a virtuous woman. So you know that you are certain that this lady will not do anything behind me,
behind your back,
and because of that, there are certain things you don't talk about, unless you are suspicious. Okay. Then you bring in the bar. But once she's a virtuous woman, trust God and believe that person will not go and do anything wrong. And I'm saying that sometimes, you see, we have these things hanging around in our minds because of where sometimes we are coming from and the things we are being through.
Okay.
And it becomes a problem.
Okay, so keep the slate clean. No such discussions. Move on with your lives, okay? This is Dee from Canada. She said, how do I overcome the hurt of learning my husband is in touch with his ex-girlfriend? In fact, they are friends. I hate it very much. He said he will stop calling her, but I don't believe him. How do I overcome the shock?
So you see, there's a problem with belief and trust.
And trust, yeah.
So once trust is broken, there's an issue with trust.
Okay.
Sit down with him.
Okay.
And let him understand that these things that you are doing,
okay,
as you are hanging around with your ex,
okay,
and she's your friend or whatever, you are hurting me.
Okay.
Talk about it. And don't just say, oh, he said he will stop calling her, and I don't believe him. And that alone is a problem.
Well, no, it looks like the husband has actually contacted the ex.
Yes.
And they're having some
so
relationship
trust,
going on.
There's a problem with trust.
Okay.
So sit down with him and let him understand that whatever he's doing is hurting you.
Okay. All right. I mean, some very interesting questions. I think we should take these questions for next week because our time is almost up. A few messages on Facebook. Joanna Akins Kwashi says, good topic. I love it. Nana Boedu Stephen, Anani Frida Beku, Steve Ofori Rita Mbiba, and Vera Silva are watching us live on Facebook. Thank you, guys. Keep watching. The Lord bless you.
God bless you.
And of course, we'll do the last submission and then maybe you give your contact just in case somebody might want to contact you. In the meantime, I'd like to say happy birthday to you, Prophet Christopher Yawano, head pastor of ICGC Holy Ghost Temple, my own father. You know, that's the man that poured oil on my head. I was most privileged. Papa, God bless you. Happy birthday to you. Today you celebrated 63 years. Wow. We love you, Lord, and we thank you for such a great man. God bless you, sir. And we dedicate this next song coming before we wrap up today by Travis and Tim Joffrey to you. And to also Pastor Tuakwa, you renewed your marriage vows today. So congratulations, Osofo. The Lord bless you. Okay, so last submission, just quick one and then the contact because our time is up.
Marriage is a good thing.
Okay.
It's good to marry, but make sure you do the right things before you marry. Lay the foundations right.
Amen.
And when you marry, keep the sanctity of the marriage. Know what marriage is, so that marriage will become a blessing instead of a burden.
Amen.
It's good to marry, and I want to say thank you to my team members for their support. God bless them.
Amen.
And I know that whatever they are doing towards this movement, God will continue to protect them and to bless them.
Amen. And of course, that's the Reverend Oscar Siri Peace, pastor and marriage counselor. Your contact, just in case somebody wants to touch base.
0276 814 888. 0276 814 888. 0276 814 888. Or if you go to Facebook,
okay,
and you type Oscar Siripi, OSCAR SIRIPI, you see my Facebook page.
Okay.
OSCAR SIRIPI or 0276 814 888.
Okay. So on that note, we'd like to say thank you.